Before the January 6th riot, we had Ali Alexander, who is he created the organization Stop the Steal, very close to Donald Trump, who liked to compliment him on being a lookalike to Sammy Davis Jr. But he, with Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones, were holding rallies in Georgia, where we were. And Ali Alexander, for example, with Nick Fuentes, said, if you don't give us Trump, and this is a quote from one of their little gatherings, we will light this S on fire, except he didn't say S. So he was already talking about burning down government buildings if they don't give us Trump. But here's the frightening thing. The frightening thing is that after Ali Alexander, joined by Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, said, we're going to basically burn down government buildings, they were hired, or Ali Alexander was hired by the National Republican Senate campaign, that's Rick Scott's outfit, Senator Rick Scott of Florida, to run a get out the vote drive in Georgia. Remember, January 5 was the runoff for the U.S. Senate seats in Georgia back in 2021. So you had the January 5 runoff. Ali Alexander was in Atlanta. I have pictures of him with the GOP get out the vote people, and they're all yucking it up. This is the same guy who just weeks before had been yucking it up with a Nazi with a swastika flag behind him. Now he's yucking it up with the Republican leadership, and he was also hired by the Georgia GOP to run a get out the vote campaign for January 5. And then he took off for Washington. Obviously, we know what happened January 6. Right. But so the question I have, and I try to get an answer from the National Republican Senate campaign and from the Georgia party, why would you hire Ali Alexander? This is after, not before. They have no excuse. This is after he was threatening to burn down the government buildings, and he said, we will have riots. So, already this was, and what I'm concerned with is that the January 6th committee did not look into this. And I don't know whether there was some off-limit agreement with Liz Cheney or whatever, but there was no discussion of putting these rioters on the Republican payroll.